Sponsored by Surfshark. All these new smartwatches have put me in mind of the old ones. 10 years ago, after the Pebble had primed us all to accept a little second screen on our wrists, Android Wear hit the scene to show us what was possible with a platform that included hardware from many different manufacturers. And for the better part of the next decade, Google continued its strategy of letting those hardware partners iterate on design, while it reinvented, then reinvented, and then rebooted entirely the underlying software. As someone who values choice in design, especially on wearables, I loved how this strategy was the polar opposite of Apple's. Namely, you can have any shape of Apple Watch you want, as long as it's this. And I so badly wanted it to work out. Well, it turns out Android Wear was one of those things that makes all the sense in the world on paper, but doesn't survive the slings and arrows of reality. So about 2 years ago, Google made a big pivot, de-emphasizing its wide portfolio of partners in favor of Samsung and itself. The Galaxy Watches would get new features under a familiar Samsung skin, while the renamed Wear OS would take its ultimate form on Google's own Pixel Watch. Well, apparently, the new approach is working well enough, because here we are on generation 3 of that reformulation. Past the honeymoon phase, through early attachment, and now we're settling in, getting a little bigger, and seeing if this can really work for the long haul. I'm Michael Fisher, and I've spent 6 weeks with the Pixel Watch 3. Bigger really is the key word here, because this 45mm casing size is what I've been hoping for from the beginning. While I recognize the smaller size is a better fit for many others, for folks like me, who like their chronometers closer to colossal, this is a welcome glow-up. The watch face has also been extended, its bezel reduced, and the display's cranked-up brightness makes it more useful in all this autumn sunlight that has blessed New York City as the year comes to its natural conclusion. By the way, these enhancements have also come to the more petite Pixel Watch 3, which keeps the same 41mm size as its predecessors. Good to have the choice. Unfortunately, the display settings that enforce dark mode across most of Wear OS limit the effect of those added nits. While I understand this is to conserve battery, and possibly to help further hide the remaining bezel, a temporary light mode option would be handy for those times you don't want to squint to see, for example, Google Maps. You know what? I've got more to say, but I gotta be honest, I can't handle this so-called active band a moment longer. Oh, it's perfectly comfortable and inoffensive, I guess, but I don't see why it's the default bracelet that ships in the box, especially for the prices I'm gonna lay on you later. I mean, are that many customers buying it mainly for exercise? Did this many people really find that flat, forgettable fluoroelastomer is a thing they want their watch to say about them? Or has the market proven, through years of Apple doing the same thing, that most people just don't care as much as I do about this stuff? It's probably that last one. Fortunately, I have a Google store just down the road from me, and a new pair of Meta Ray-Bans to help me capture the quest for a better bracelet. Let's go shopping. That's better. That is indeed better for the leather and lug lover I am. Though I wish I hadn't had to spend nearly $90 to escape plastic wrist strap purgatory. Anyway, we'll talk features after we jump the shark. Privacy is a big deal these days. And if you're looking for a way to protect that privacy, consider my sponsor, Surfshark. With Surfshark, you get a lot more than just a VPN. CleanWeb automatically blocks more than 1 million malicious websites, phishing methods, and other threats, while Alternative ID builds you a brand new online identity, so you can stop giving away your phone number or email every time you register on a new website.
And with multi-hop, you can put more than one server between you and your destination for even greater privacy and security. Surfshark doesn't log its users' activity, a claim recently verified by a third-party audit from Deloitte, and it's also converted all of its infrastructure to diskless servers. That means that any information that would usually stay on hard drives is automatically deleted whenever those servers are turned off. Secure your privacy with Surfshark. Go to surfshark.com/MrMobile down in the description for 4 extra months. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. Okay, I understand the most significant upgrades to this watch are probably in the Fitbit app, with 4 of Google's 9 things to know devoted to health and fitness. But there's good news for those of us who buy wearables for reasons other than sweating on them. There are lots of new smartwatch features as well. Take the Recorder app. It's got all the power of its equivalent on a Pixel phone, and in fact it synchronizes to it, so you can transcribe and summarize a meeting or take some field notes from the mic on your wrist instead of pulling out your Pixel. That's the kind of stuff I miss when I go back to my mainstay Mark Captain by Garmin. Rich features with deep integration into the phone. In the same category, remote camera shutter, especially handy if you can pair it with a foldable. Rich notification and reply capabilities. It plays nice with your Google TV or Nest doorbell if you've got either of those. And voice calling capability over Bluetooth or LTE.
Not that you'd want to talk too long with the sound quality. Why can't they make these louder or less tinny? At least it pairs to earbuds.
Meanwhile, some of what I've always appreciated about that Garmin has come to the Pixel Watch. Sleep tracking to grade my Z's at night, and a morning briefing to tell me what kind of day I'm likely to have come sunup. The one thing that's not here anymore, the power to pick your pushers. Back in the glory days, you could make pretty much any button perform any function. Now, it's all uniform by decree. Push the crown to get to the app launcher, spin it to scroll it, double-click it to get to the wallet, hold it down to power down. A single click of the 2 o'clock key lets you multitask, click it twice to jump between your 2 most recent apps, or hold it to talk to Google Assistant. Yes, that is Assistant, not Gemini, at least not yet. Par for the course in this era of unfinished AI appendages you may or may not miss. Setup was also mostly, but not entirely, smooth, with errors that spontaneously fixed themselves, marring an otherwise well-thought-out out-of-box experience. And I have the same lamentation here that I did for the Galaxy Watch Ultra. In this new era of enforced uniformity, Facer, the third-party portal to thousands of watch faces, is shut out. As I've said before, I've been comped a premium membership to Facer for a few years, which I've put to good use because of the sheer number of options available. Now, Google's position is that mandating watch face format will cut down on the number of rogue watch faces sucking battery and impacting performance, and I guess I can understand that. But on the bright side, I ended up not needing to venture into the Play Store for any additional watch faces because the pre-installed Field Face is just so good. 8 complications, all customizable, giving you so much information but keeping it glanceable with the neon pastel color combination called Jester. It even helps with the lack of custom pushers that I usually use for stopwatch and timer, since you can tap on the 2 and 4 o'clock sectors for each of those. Finally, all this only works as long as the battery does. Almost exactly 48 hours for someone like me, with frequent notifications but infrequent workouts, and the always-on display enabled, like God intended. Given the added casing size, I sure wish it lasted longer. But this is another example of the market and me diverging, I guess, because all those Apple Watch users sure don't seem to mind charging their watches every time they shower or whatever. At $399 for the 45mm, the Pixel Watch 3 ain't cheap. And at $499 for the LTE version, it's downright expensive, though Google does give you 2 years of data for free if you go that route, curiously omitting voice calls.
Hey, mid-edit, Mr. Mobile here. Sorry about the background noise. I'll find a quieter spot, but this is as close to breaking news as we get on the channel. I know I just made the point that the LTE edition of the Pixel Watch 3 Probably not the way to go in terms of a value proposition, but I neglected to mention that there might be some carrier deals that make it make more sense. I'm at a T-Mobile event in New York City right now, and they've just announced that if you get a Pixel Watch 3 from them, or any smartwatch from them that they carry, I think, they will give you a bill credit that'll effectively make the LTE version the same price as the cheaper non-LTE version. Definitely some fine print there. I think you have to be on the Go 5G Next Ultimate Big Ol' whatever the hell plan. I don't know what they call it. But check the fine print. Might make sense to you. Just wanted to put that out there. Back to my whatever I said, was going to say. Let's find out together.
I do wish it lasted longer, and I wish it had both a better speaker and better bracelets out of the box. But the Pixel Watch is finally in a place where it's easy to recommend to tech nerds and normals alike. While I'm still not a huge fan of the new Wear OS interface, I do prefer it to Garmin's complexity and Samsung's cartoonishness. And there's no denying the beauty of the hardware. In short, after 3 generations, Google's move to vertically integrate its smartwatch approach is finally paying off. We'll never get back to the old excitement of the Wild West of wearables, but if we, Android faithful, must make our peace with the sound of settling, I don't think there's a better smartwatch out there on which to do it. This video was produced following 6 weeks with a Pixel Watch 3 review sample paired to a Pixel 9 Pro review sample, both provided by Google. However, manufacturers never have editorial input into the contents of my reviews, nor do they provide compensation for their production. These opinions are mine and mine alone. Check out that Pixel 9 Pro full review if you're primed for more Pixel content, and please subscribe to the Mr. Mobile on YouTube if you'd like to see more videos like this. Until next time, from Michael Fisher, Captain Two Phones on Threads, thanks for watching. And stay mobile, my friends.